Welcome, guys, to Future Prospects Skype. Boy, have I got a show for you today. We've got Irby, Amzy, and Irby. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Future Prospects.
Hi, Joy. Thanks for having us.
Oh, my, our pleasure. Now, I'm going to refer to you guys. I'm going to give you a name before we get into this. So I'm going to leave it. But the viewers have seen you. They've heard of you. Our community knows of you. But I haven't seen you for a while since I attended your event at the Gibson Center. But I want you to share with the viewers who you are again and what's been going on. So we're going to start off with Amzy. In your nice blue jacket there, man. That looks pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, my name is Amzy. I'm 19 years old, and I'm going into my third year of university. I go to Laurentian University currently. And yeah, I live here in my home, Alliston. And I come from a family of 5. 2 brothers and then 2 parents. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Okay. Irby, thank you. Irby, go for it, man.
Sorry?
Go for it. Go ahead.
My name is Irby. I recently just turned 19 years old.
And hey, happy birthday!
Thank you, Joy. Thank you. I'm going to my second year of university at Laurentian, and I'm in the forensic science program.
Okay. All right. So how is it like? Sorry?
This is the older brother.
Okay. All right. That's good. So now you had to come home, guys. All right. You had to return back home, right? So you're young, 2 good-looking guys back home. You thought, okay, you can do your thing for a while, but you had to come back home, and all of a sudden, bam, COVID-19. So how was that coming from university, doing online? Can't go nowhere, can't chill out with your friends at Starbucks on the patio. Let's go, guys.
So for actually the first time ever, I actually missed school. I don't really get to see my friends as much as before.
Okay.
The COVID-19 pandemic, of course, is limiting everyone, right?
Right.
So, and also because of the pandemic, we also had the announcement from the government that our seniors, they're not above 70 years, they're not able to go outside. They're mandated to actually self-isolate. So my brother and I, we got to thinking, well, if they have to stay home, who's going to do their groceries? How are they going to cut their grass? How are they going to do all their local errands? Right? So my brother and I, we actually use our social media channels and the Rotary Club, and we put out a flyer to extend our helping hands.
Right.
Our goal with this is to obviously help our local seniors and inspire our youth.
All right.
Get involved, because youth empowerment is important in our community.
Right, honey. Okay. You know what kills me? You went right into what you do, and it's great, and we're going to get into that, but that just shows how you both are. Like, we're talking about a pandemic now, so you don't come in, oh, pandemic, wow, let's go help people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you that's how you both think. And we got a whole hour show here, guys, so we're going to embrace that. But just for now, I want you just to talk to the viewers how you came home and how you had to readjust, which you did. Irby, that's great. But I want to hear from Amzy's side. And then I'm going to throw some questions at you guys.
Okay.
So, how did you deal with it coming back?
So it was quite interesting to come back at home, and it's basically coming back to a whole new world. You know, you come back home, all the stores are closed. People are lining up 3 feet apart.
Right.
Like, I was just wow. 6 feet apart. My bad. But you see, it was quite interesting to see. It was like a whole new world, you know. And especially life at university, you're kind of constricted to your residence. I mean, at least I was, you know, at home studying dorm, you know. But it was just quite interesting to come back and see how this pandemic is really affecting my community as a whole.
Right. Now, was it hard? Okay. Was it hard to not actually go out and see your friends? Like, you're talking to young people now, so they're listening and they're going, okay, that's cool, but come on, guys, let's get real here now. You had to come in, you had to stay at home, you couldn't go, hey man, you want to go out, you want to chill out, you want to go somewhere? You couldn't do that. So how did you had to all of a sudden change your thinking pattern not only human beings, but young people? How do you have to do that coming from university?
That's actually funny that you say that, because I mean, how are we connecting right now?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, we're just talking to young people, right? It's nothing new. Social media, we've been connecting for years like this. Ever since high school, we've all went our own ways, our own paths, and it's really nothing new.
Right.
So, I feel like, especially with a lot of my friends, and we kind of really assimilated into this new way of living quite easily.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't, it wasn't that terrible, you
Good
know?
for you, honey. Okay, Irby, sorry. How was it like now doing your finals? Did you online? Okay, you don't have a teacher, you don't have a professor in front of you. You didn't have knock on someone's door. Can you help me? Okay, I understand. Amzy's covered the social media and the electronic side, but now online. How was that, Irby?
Okay, so online school, like as you go to university, you become way more independent, of course.
Right.
But with that schedule that you create of going to class and everything, now that everything is put online, it's like took it to a new level of independence.
Right.
You're at home, you can chill as long as you want, but you still gotta wake up for class. And the worst part is you're not actually walking to class or anything, so it makes you more lazy. Like you could come to class in your pajamas, right? And you can have like back-to-back classes, which are all Zoom lessons. So
Oh,
it made it like mentally harder to attend class because
yes.
due to laziness and everything, you can sleep in at home, you can do all this late, but at university on residence, like you have everyone going to class and like your friends will knock on your door like, yo, we have class. But at home, everything is online. You can ignore your friends' phone calls and we have class if you want. Like you're isolated from all your friends. It's,
Right.
it's a mental game. And
Got
with
you.
the exams, they're online, so like it still required the same amount of studying, but of course, it's much harder to study at home when compared to studying at school.
Why? Why? Anybody
There
can
are
answer.
a lot more distractions. It's not like a school environment at home. Like you have the whole family environment. You have the parents going to work. We have our little brother who's coming from his school, which was closed, but he's running around the house. While me and my older brother, we're trying to attend our Zoom lessons, right? And then we're
Right.
just trying to find like a quiet area to study, but like it's more difficult being that we don't live at school anymore.
Right. Who does the most cooking in the house now? Now that you're home.
Well, you know what? University life has really allowed us to pick up skills, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, we survived somehow over there. So we've developed a little knack for cooking. You know,
Yes.
eggs, any way we can do them.
Okay. What's the knack? What's the knack?
Sorry.
What's the knack, honey? What do you do? What's the knack? Okay, you cook, but what do you cook?
Well, I mean, you know what? Like, so what we really like to do is we like to make a lot of biryani, which is like our cultural food, our very classic cultural food.
Okay,
So,
what is that though? Some viewers might know, but some might. What is it? Explain.
well, sure. It's like think of it as just a rice and chicken dish.
With
Ooh,
seasoning, there's a lot of seasoning.
right. Is there vegetables in there? And
We don't really like the vegetables in there. We just like normal chicken biryani.
all
Right?
right.
Just chicken
Okay.
rice with the seasoning.
Right?
All
The
right.
barbecue, we've been hitting up the barbecue a lot. Have the meat coming in. The burgers, we're flipping the burgers, right? Chicken, oh my gosh, the tandoori chicken that I can make. Whew. So, you know,
All right. We're gonna have some fun in this segment because we're gonna get into some other stuff. All right. But now, what is your version of tandoori chicken? Come on, because I wanna hear some ideas because I love to cook.
sure. So we buy our spice packs, right? And
Yep.
then I'll marinate the chicken for like I usually like to do it for like 10 hours, make it nice and
10
professional.
hours. When do you
Yeah, you
eat?
just get
Yeah,
it
let
done.
it sink in.
Yeah, let it
Yeah,
sink
you need
in.
the flavor throughout the whole chicken.
All right. Continue. What else?
And then you throw those on the barbecue, and then you just let the aroma take you away. You know.
Oh my God. So now when you're cooking on the barbecue with all this distancing and social distancing, don't you have neighbors lining up outside your door going, hello? Like, what is this?
Exclusive content. Exclusive content.
It's a secret recipe.
Okay, keeping up with everything. What is it taught you guys? What has this pandemic taught you? You're young. What have you learned from the short time that we've been here? Even though it's been a short time since March, what have you learned within the short time? Just share just a minute or so, because I'm just watching the time here.
Sure. You know what? I feel like it really brings out our resourcefulness because, as my brother said, it's a family environment, and trying to be a university student here with your little brother running around and like your family here and all that, it can be quite difficult sometimes for sure. But you know what? My brother and I have like fastened our rooms into our new workspaces. So honestly, I just feel like it really highlights our resourcefulness, and a lot of resourcefulness a lot of youth have and have now start to get more aware of, especially now during the coronavirus.
That's right. Irby, what's your side, hon?
Well, a lot of self-discipline. Right?
Okay, share.
Like, for example, the gym's closed. Like, a lot of us used to go to the gym. Now you get to exercise at home. You don't have your normal equipment. You have to relearn everything. You have to change your whole style, right? And then a lot of people, they might have just bought takeout. Now they gotta cook at home. So a lot of it is self-discipline. You gotta make your own schedule and everything. Make sure you stay on track because with like the whole pandemic, there's really nothing to do. People will be staying up late and everything. But like sometimes, let's say, for example, some people they do stocks and trading. The stock market opens at what 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Right.
Even with this pandemic, they got nothing to do. They still gotta wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. It's not like beforehand they'd wake up for work to leave,
right.
And then they could also check their stocks. Now they have to wake up on their own. It's a lot of self-discipline.
Oh my God. There's so much we've got to learn through this, right, guys? Because until we actually find the virus, we're gonna have to deal with this for a while, right?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm not too worried. Life is like a feeling process, right? And you just gotta take things one step at a time, one day at a time. And I feel like everyone's taking it quite good, quite great, actually.
Awesome. And on that note, hon, I got a break. I got to take my time here and bring you back. All right. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned, guys. Future Prospects Rogers Television will be right back. Welcome back, guys, to Future Prospects Guide with Amzy and Irby. Guys, that was awesome. I love that. We had so much fun. And I don't care about no pandemic. No, I do care. Sorry, retract. I do, but I've got to get a piece of that chicken. I've got to get a piece of that chicken. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But in this segment, hon, I want you to share with the viewers, because Michael put something on the Facebook page when he's seen all the awards that you got, and he titled it Community Heroes. And that's how I want to introduce you to the viewers. You are the community heroes. There's many out there, but you guys have done a lot with your time, your volunteering. So educate the viewers on that, hon. I don't want it to come from me. Go for it.
Sure. So I guess we'll start off with what we started doing once we came back from university.
Go for it.
Right. So when we came back from university, quite early on into our stay at home, the government released a notice that advised seniors to stay at home. Our seniors were no longer allowed to leave their homes because they can contract the virus, the COVID virus.
Right.
So it was for their own safety and the safety for the community as a whole. So on that note, we're like, as a community, we need to come together because only as a community can we really truly fight coronavirus.
Right.
So what we decided to do was that we gave out we outstretched our helping hands, and we posted, used our social media connections and our Rotary connections and our community connections to really spread out this message that, hey, we're two brothers, we're local brothers, we're here in the community, and we're here to help. What we can do for you, for our elderly, for our seniors, is that we can do the groceries for you. We can help out with these essential things that you're no longer allowed to do.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how we started off our yeah, that's kind of how we started.
Okay, but now you are doing that now, but you've been doing similar to this before. So, Irby, can you tell the viewers you didn't just come back from university and just go, oh, great idea. You've been doing this throughout your life. So now share with the viewers what you've done with our Stevenson Hospital, what you've done with other platforms in giving back your time and the importance of students' voice, future prospects.
Mhm.
Irby.
So me and my brother, we've been always involved in the community. It's kind of intertwined in our DNA. Always getting support from our family, our community service leaders in the Rotary group, and our local MPT. Like, one of the first couple of things we started doing is we joined the Interact Club, and Amzy actually became the first president of the Interact Club here in our hometown.
Okay.
And then I became a co-president the next year after. But we've done like multiple community service stuff. Like we also helped our hospital. We had we made a petition. Not our MPP had a petition, and we actually took our own time out of the day and went to our neighborhood, door to door, and we explained what was going on with the hospital, that they needed money to um, refurbish the hospital.
Right.
We need an upgrade. Like our hospital was built for 3,500, I think. Don't quote me because
That's
it's been a
okay.
while since I gave this pitch.
That's okay.
3,500 patients, and right now they were serving around 35,000 a year. So it was a big jump, and they needed money to expand their hospital. So we're going door to door to get this petition for grants to be released from the government to help the hospital, and it was successful. We got around 100 signatures, and our MPP brought it to the government, and they released grants for our hospital. And
Wow.
also what we've done, we've always been volunteering in the hospital, Stevenson Memorial, in the med surg department, the gift shop, the front desk.
Exactly. So you know what? We've always been involved with our hospital, and that's actually, so we had kind of had a first-hand experience of how overworked our hospital can be. You know,
Right.
not really overworked. Our hospital did a really good job, all things considered, of course. Right? Of course, things can be a lot better, a little bit more. It was quite crowded. I remember my brother telling me sometimes that he used to work at the gift shop as a volunteer, and he could used to see from the triage the lineup used to come all the way into the gift shop.
Yes.
So, you know, our
I've
hospital was
been
in
there.
advancements, and it's been like since like 1940, 1960. It's been quite a while since the hospital has had any advancements, any expansions. Exactly. So this grant that we actually helped to help the government, convince the government to release, was actually very, very helpful to our own community. Now, actually, our local MPP actually announced us in Parliament and recognized us for our initiative in the community. So that was actually quite. It was like wow, you know,
Like we were said, like our names were pronounced.
I was quite surprised. We saw someone sent us the link and we saw the video, and it was like he said our names in there. And it's like wow.
Let me ask you something. What drives you guys, before we get into the next chapter here within this segment here? I'm looking at my time. What drives you two young people? Like, come on now. I know the importance of students' voice, but let's get down to it here now. What drives you two sharp, smart, and successful young students? What drives you to do what you do?
Well, the youth is vital in any community. We have an aging population in Canada, and the youth is what is going to be driving our workforce in the near future. We need a voice too. We have a very old population, and who knows what could happen in the next 10, 20 years. We have to start empowering and inspiring our youth now.
That's right. That's right, honey.
It's
And
intertwined into our DNA. Sorry, Joy.
that's okay.
It's been intertwined in our DNA. Growing up, my brother and I have always been raised with these values of service above self. So it's always been from the beginning. Our parents always told us how we have to give back to the community and how we have to show our appreciation and support each other like a community. And that's like the true Canadian behavior that it's exemplary behavior, right? That we want to just lead through example, and this is just our idea of what Canadians should be and who they are.
Wow.
So yeah,
I
we're just holding it.
I can truly say I love you guys. I love you guys from my heart because this is my mission in giving this platform to yourselves, and you guys are doing it as well as many others. And on another note, you guys have done something that's why you're here again and can always return. And you have created something. And should I say it or should you say it? What do you want to do?
How about let's tease it a little bit?
Yes.
We actually had one more thing.
Yes.
So before we got around to our big surprise,
yeah.
big announcements, we actually did support our students on a more international level. We started a charity
with the TCF, which is the Citizens Foundation. In Canada, we're blessed that the government is giving us, like, helping us students by giving their CESB checks, and they're also helping our citizens with the CERB checks. But not every country has this luxury. So I actually opened a fundraiser with the Citizens Foundation of Canada, and I know you're aware of it, but we've actually raised around $1,000 so far. It goes towards helping teachers and students with COVID-19 relief, because everyone's self-isolated. You can't go out and work and make money. So this is what this money is going towards. And I've actually posted it on my social media channels to get the word out, as it is on my Facebook.
Wow. So now we can share that with the viewers at the end too, right? We can make sure that's the credits.
That's it.
Oh my God. I know I've seen it. And I've sent it out, and I will continue sending it out again, but we'll leave that information. Phenomenal, guys. Phenomenal. What's the next one? I want to get this in before we get on the third segment. The third one.
The big surprise, right?
Yes.
Okay. So our big surprise, well, we actually, how it started was that we heard there's a concern from a mom who works at the hospital.
Right.
Told us that not all the doctors have proper, like, head and neck protection gear. They're actually using scarves and hairnets, which is not what our frontline workers should be using. They need the most protection.
Right.
Those are the people that are protecting us from the virus. Those are the people that are treating the patients. Without that frontline defense, which are these healthcare providers, then our whole community we could all become infected.
That's right.
Right. So my brother and I, we decided to create this head and neck protection, which we will show very soon.
Okay.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
This is just our way of saying thank you to our healthcare professionals who work tirelessly every day to combat COVID-19 on the front lines. So this is just our way of saying thank you, and this is what we made.
Okay, go for it, guys. Ta-da! Oh my God! Okay, sell it, guys. Sell it. Let's go.
So this is our first model.
First, what is the name?
It's called the Protective Hood.
Okay, all right. So demonstrate it, Amzy, and one can talk. Go for it.
Okay, so we made this specific model out of KC300.
KC300?
Yeah, KC300. Here.
What is that?
So it's actually used in the CSR. There's a central sterilization room.
Okay.
It's used in the autoclave machine, which is meant to disinfect like medical equipment and stuff like that. So it is only steam permeable, but it does offer droplet bodily fluids protection, and it is very comfortable to use.
Okay.
It's repellent, and it's only permeable to steam. and gas.
All right.
We use actually this material is very readily available in the hospitals. It's very cost effective because since that our operating rooms and those general surgeries are on pause due to the COVID-19 pandemic, that this material is actually in a surplus. So
Wow.
if you can see here, we did stitch an elastic on the inside, and we do have our stencil, which is what we use to cut out from the sheets of KC300, sorry. And we use this elastic here to create a nice snug fit over the forehead. And
Wow.
we have these Velcro strips that are used here. Here, actually, I'll show you Velcro strips.
Okay.
Oh, right
Oh,
here. That
all
are
right.
used. We got them from the dollar store. There's a couple dollars, and all you do, they're adhesive. You just stick it on.
So
You
the
all,
benefit of this is that what we kept in mind in the development of this new personal protection equipment is easy donning and easy doffing. So this new protective equipment is very easily assimilated into the already standard procedures for donning and doffing of PPE in the hospitals. Now, we kept that in mind with the development of this new PPE.
that's why we actually use these Velcro strips.
Gotcha.
Easy
Very
doffing.
easy, very
All
easy
right.
on and off, down and down.
I'm going to hold you on that because I'm going to go to break because now I want to have our next segment, which is going to be introducing Dr. Dinza. On that note, guys, stay tuned. More on Future Prospects with Irby and Amzy. We'll be right back, guys. Awesome job, guys. Welcome back to Future Prospects. Now we're welcoming to our third segment, Dr. Gaurav Dinza. Welcome, Dr. Dinza. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure, hon. Thank you for taking the time out. Being a doctor and with your agenda and everything that's going down within our community as well as the world. Now, we've got some time to actually talk about your perspective and interest on what Irby and Amzy have actually designed, which is the protective hood. So, giving you back, if you can just introduce yourself to the viewers and your perspective on it.
Sure. So I'm a hospitalist physician. I work at the Alliston Hospital. And I know Irby and Amzy as they volunteer here at the hospital and through their mother, who's a colleague. So the way that the design for the protective hood came about was based on necessity. One of the things that we wanted to do when potentially dealing with COVID-19 patients was to make sure that the healthcare practitioners that are involved in the care of that patient are well protected. And one of the areas that was identified that may not be well protected with run-of-the-mill personal protective equipment was the neck area. As a result, out of necessity and some degree of innovation, the boys came up with this idea to use materials commonly found in our hospital and construct this hood out of them to make sure that the people looking after these patients are well protected.
Right. Now, throughout our pre-interview that we conducted, I don't know how long it was, a week or a week and a half ago, you were saying that it was you never had to put it on yourself, correct? I hope you were glad for that, correct?
Not in a real life scenario. I mean, we've practiced with them, but not actually having to use it for patient care.
Okay, so
yeah.
What was it? Now, I know the viewers are not going to see the pictures right now throughout the segment because we're on Skype, so they're going to see it throughout and after the ending of each one. But what was it that really fascinated you? Because having you on the show as a professional within the field validates more what they have created, which is awesome. So can you just tell the viewers about that? So when they see the pictures, they can say, okay,
Several things really stood out to me. A big one was that it used materials that were readily available and relatively inexpensive. The main material, the fabric, so to speak, of the hood is made out of material that's easily available in most hospitals. And we know that it works well at protection. And then they just used some stuff you can pick up at any store, really, in order to shape and stitch the hood together to make sure that it's protecting its wearer well.
Right. Now, there's one thing that I did ask you too, which I'm going to ask you also here now that you're on the show. Thank you so much. Is that it's breathable. Am I saying it right? Like it's light. It's easy to remove. You can wear it over. You can wear it under the other stuff that you're wearing with your PPE and your hood and your plastic. Correct?
Yeah. So it's not like impermeable plastic membrane. Those are the types of materials that you have a tough time breathing in. This stuff does breathe, but at the same time it protects. Like you won't get wet if you get sprayed while wearing it. And the way it's designed, it forms a snug fit around the head and the neck in order to make sure the person wearing it stays safe.
Right. Now, when the doctors and the nurses are wearing these, why is it so important, or which attracted you to the protective hood was the neck area? Because usually a lot of the mask is just around the nose and mouth, correct?
Yep.
But this now protects the head, but also the neck. Why the neck? And this is what was so interesting when you were talking with me.
So one of the things that research and really experience has identified is that even if we're wearing a protective gown, we're wearing our high-level masks, we're wearing a face visor or eye protection, and we're covering our hair, one key area that's still relatively unprotected is your neck area, especially in these scrubs. I don't know if you can see that mine is a bit of a V-neck design.
Right.
So what they found was that even if we're wearing all that equipment and we're in the process of providing close care to a patient or intubating them, putting in a breathing tube, we could still potentially get sprayed and have droplets deposited on that area. Now, having droplets put on your neck in and of itself is not going to infect you with the virus. However, the risk is that if you were to then go and touch your neck and then go touch your face or your nose or your eyes, you could potentially infect yourself.
Wow. Now, you are the voice for the other medical profession who have worn these, who have used them. So myself to you, how is it, what is their feedback when the other team, your members, your nurses and doctors that wear them, speaking for them, what is it that they have found? Because you're the voice, Dr. Dinza. You're the one that's doing it all right now.
So I think that the common stuff that we've all determined is that it's easy to put on.
Yes.
It stays secure, meaning that it's not going to fall off in the middle of a resuscitation process. And probably as importantly, or if not more importantly, it's very easy to take off in a safe manner as well.
Right. Your feedback on this is so valuable because I'm finding the words here. I'm getting so excited about this because it's two dear friends of mine that's actually designed this and having you on. But now talking about the pandemic within a small community, what, and being a family member, okay, being you have your youngborn, I believe it's your son, right? Okay, so when you look at it in whole, what is your message to us here? What is your concerns being behind you on the front line? You're the one that's going in every single day dealing with this. So on a realistic, what is your message and concerns with us, with the actual pandemic? What's your words to us?
Probably the simplest message I can say is to stay the course. Let's not get impatient and try to get back to normal too quickly. I think, and I have to give credit to the government in this case, that they've done a great job in implementing safety measures, even though it's been a big economic hit, and it's really changed the way we all live our lives. It's been fantastic, and thankfully we haven't seen that big wave of COVID patients overwhelming our healthcare system the way other countries have.
Yes.
But the key now is going to be just as important as it was to implement these things. It's just as important to slowly de-escalate these things so that we don't get another wave of patients, because it's still realistically, it's possible if we go back to normal too quickly that we could still get a second wave of patients overwhelming the healthcare system.
All right. Now, talking to youth, including my beautiful, handsome son, I can say that because I'm his mother as well as Irby and Amzy. When you listen and you have these conversations with people, when you say de-escalate, if you can just define that from a professional, giving now your own future prospects, can you bring that out in a little bit more of a platform when you say de-escalate?
I mean, a good example would be that, I mean, I come from a big family, so it was a big change for us to not see each other, and kind of confine ourselves to our own household bubbles. Whereas normally we're used to seeing people on a very regular basis and interacting with other human beings closely. So even though we're on our way to easing some of those restrictions, it'll be important to not jump right back into the thick of things and start going into large gatherings and whatnot, and instead go in a step-by-step methodical manner where going from self-isolation within your own household, maybe the initial first step should just be restricting it to 2 household bubbles, as opposed to just opening things up right away. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Wow, I can't argue with that because you're the frontliners. You're the one that's dealing with this 24/7. When you leave your place of work and you go home as a professional, how do you have a youngborn, you have your beautiful wife, you have your family, which is precious to your heart. How do you deal with it coming from a medical area going home?
I mean, as colleagues, we've all looked to each other for strategies on this. But some of the basic stuff that I'm doing, and a lot of my colleagues are also doing, is that the minute we get home, we're jumping straight into the shower to make sure that we're decontaminating ourselves before interacting with other family members. Personally, I am leaving my jacket that I wear to work in my garage. I leave my shoes in my garage, even though here in the hospital we change into scrubs and I have dedicated footwear that I leave at the hospital.
Okay.
And then the clothes that I'm wearing to and from work, even though I'm not actually seeing people in them, I'm still laundering them every day when I get home. And then finally, just giving my car a good scrubbing when I get home from work every day, and basically not letting anyone else in the house drive my car.
Oh my good God. You know something? You've just given me a checklist. You actually provided me a checklist. I do some things, but not everything that you just said. So I'm going to go back and recheck myself, Dr. Dinza. Thank you. Thank you, my love. The new normal life, the new normal that we have to go. What's your thoughts on that, my love? What's your thoughts?
Tough to say. I mean, time will tell to some degree, but I think some of the changes that that have already happened or will happen, I think are probably with us to stay. I think there will be a lot more dependence on online commerce and retail and interaction with others in general. But I think just as society moves back towards normal, I think there will be some permanent changes in a lot of communal gathering places, places like malls, where they'll have to have permanent things in place in order to plan for future events.
Right, right. Are you a sports person? Have you missed any sports or anything that you'd like to do? Or
I think in terms of watching sports, I think hockey and basketball are probably the only live things I watch on TV outside of the news. So it has been difficult.
Yeah. Right, my love. Looking at everything as a whole, has this done anything to you, not only as a professional, but let's be honest, a self-reflection on us? This hit us pretty fast, and we didn't think that anybody would deal with something like this. But yourself, what has it taught you?
To always be vigilant is probably the biggest one. I mean, even just within my own, the way I've changed since this thing hit. I mean, December is not that long ago, but at that time, this was nothing more than a new virus on the other side of the world. But I don't think anyone could have predicted, based on that initial data, how quickly this thing was going to spread everywhere.
Right.
And at least based on what was being shown in the news and the statistics we were getting initially, it seemed like it was going to be well contained within China.
Right. But you know something, on that note, my love, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to be part of this message. God bless you, you and your family, Dr.
My
Dinsley.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you again. We'll be right back, guys. Thank you. Welcome back, guys, to Future Prospects. I got to say Skype because we are on Skype with Amzy and Irby. That was phenomenal. And not only that third segment with Dr. Dinza and his professional insight on what you've literally created with the protective hood. We've only got 12 minutes, guys. So share your thoughts on what you've created, and let's take it from here.
All right. So we have already introduced our KC300 model of our protective hood.
Right.
Now, what we would like to get into is our new prototype. This is our new and improved hood. It's
the
our
new
prototype.
So hold on a second here. So this is the second prototype.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. So this one we have just started making, and we made it out of a new material. This material is AAMI level 4 material. So it is made out of the laparotomy drapes.
And the surgeon's gown actually uses the same material. The AAMI level 4, it actually addresses droplet protection, which is mainly how the COVID-19 virus spreads, through if someone's infected and they're talking, like spit, droplets coming out their mouth. And this is what's recommended for AGMP procedures, which is actually aerosol generating medical procedures.
Thank you.
Resuscitation or intubation.
Okay.
Right. So this is very important head and neck gear for very important procedures just like these. And this is it follows the same guidelines as our last prototype with the elastics, and we've also included another elastic on the back of the head.
Why?
More of a socket, to more like a socket, so it's more snug and it stays in your head even more stably. So this is for more smaller heads. So we also developed also the standard size fit one with no elastic on the back. So we're now getting into even the specifics where we're just narrowing in on sizings, you know. So the benefit is that this provides much more protection for the these AGMPs, right? So
this one's completely impermeable to body fluids, and this one's much lighter.
Okay, I want to ask you. I can interject for a second. AGMP. Those are letters, but a lot of viewers might not know. What is that?
Oh, so as we mentioned, it was the aerosol generating medical procedures.
Okay, all right.
So two examples of these could be resuscitation and intubation. So these would come very handy for these kinds of procedures.
Right.
Right.
Now, you didn't just share this with Stevenson Hospital here in Alston. What was your feedback? You got feedback from others. Right.
They actually very positive feedback. They loved it. Right. The auxiliary at the hospital, they actually gave the pattern to the volunteers, and they actually made 200 of these protective hoods, and they're being.
Oh my gosh! Now, what was your mother's feedback on that? I know Dr. Dinza talked about it in the third segment, but when you showed it to your mom, ignore my clock, but when you showed it to your mom, how excited was she that her sons came up with this, or how did that conversation all come about?
Well, see, my mom is involved in a lot of procedures like the intubation. My mom is involved with a lot of intubation. So she found that this protective equipment is very, very handy. So we had like a pretty good resource, as in like how we want to modify it and all that. And especially now that we have AMI level 4 material, like this is like professional grade material, it's even better. It's more certified, and it's better than the simple scarf and hairnet that she was using.
Yeah.
So it's very important for our healthcare professionals to have the utmost protection.
Right? And this stuff is very cost effective. Right?
Yeah.
You just get the Velcro strips from the dollar stores. It's the dollar,
Right.
$1.25 each. Right? And then the elastic, also from the dollar store. It's just a dollar or two. It's very easy for the hospital to make, and they have the materials.
Wow.
Right? The operating rooms are on pause for the COVID-19 pandemic, and they have these materials in surplus. No one is using them. So they can just use the pattern and use like the laparotomy drape. It can make 9 of these, while a pack of the KC300 can make around one sheet can make 2, and one pack comes with around 100. So you make around 200 of these.
Holy cow!
All the materials are there,
Exactly.
and then these are all super cheap.
So it's very efficient, very protective, and very cost effective. That's the best part. It's only a mere few cents. For superb protection, you really can't go wrong. And we didn't just stop here at Stevenson Memorial Hospital.
Right.
We've been also contacting other hospitals, see if they'd be interested in this. We
What
did a
was the
video call.
feedback? What was the feedback?
They love it because they're just using a hairnet and scarf.
Oh
Like
my
it's
God.
primitive. Like they have this so easy to make, so cheap, and is providing all the protection they need. Right?
Wow.
Before, there was no protection for the net. Droplets could go on, they could touch their net and then their face and contaminate themselves.
Excellent. Amzy, how proud are you? I've heard Irby, but I just want to keep you both in the platform here, okay? When you look at it, Amzy, what excites you or what humbles you when you're giving back with something in such a crucial time right now?
Well, you know what? I realized that as a community, all of us have our own role to play, and us as youth, we have so much opportunity to do a lot more, right?
Yes.
So we have our healthcare professionals here putting their lives on the risk, their families at risk, they're so many sacrifices, and this is just our way of just saying thank you. They're doing so much for us and as a community as a whole. And I just feel like, the community is really coming together. All these volunteers putting these protective hoods together. Wow. Just for the protection of our frontline healthcare workers.
Right.
So that's like the driving force. It's just like, it's just gratitude and just like, like just thank you.
Yes. Will you guys ever, I know this, I'm being the devil's advocate for a second. Will you guys ever slow down? Or will you ever slow down? Or will you just keep doing what you're doing? I know it sounds crazy to me to ask you that, but I gotta ask you that.
Well, I never really considered it. It's not on the agenda. This is nothing. We don't see this as like we're doing something crazy or we're going out of the. We're just living life. We see an opportunity. We make change. We make a good impact. It's not like something where like we're slaving out here to do something. This is something we want to do.
Right.
If you want to go play games on your phone, you're gonna play games on your phone. It's not you're not gonna slow down.
That's right.
This is something we find enjoyment out of, and then it's a good cause, right?
You got it.
No, I don't see anything like that.
You got it. Irby, why is it important to always volunteer? Now with a lot of people, let's say long-term care homes, our Prime Minister talked about it. People are looking for it to get back. A lot don't want to go back because it's dangerous. But why is it important for us to volunteer?
Well, once again, with our aging population, there isn't many people that are able to help. There's not a big workforce due to everyone is at a much older level here in Canada.
Yes.
Right? And the youth, like, we need to band together. And we're hoping that my brother and I were able to inspire the youth to come into the community and volunteer. Volunteering is like a vital part of the community, and it's how you give back. right? We all take care of each other in a community, and the way to give back is by volunteering, helping those in need. Like how just me and Amzy are doing it. We're doing the fundraiser. We're helping our frontline workers. It's not that much effort. It's not
Yeah.
too much work.
Exactly. You can look at it even as like a family. You know, everyone in a family has their own chores and their own responsibilities, and that's how you make the whole house work. You know, so you can look at this house as a community and as a family, like all of us, like our neighbors, and then everyone's different roles. Everyone has a part to play, especially during COVID-19.
What is your how would I say now? What's your parents' feedback on this? When they see you both just stepping up at the time, all the time, what's your parents' feedback?
Well, encouragement, right? You know, they're always encouraging us, and then they're saying like, when we do things, they're like, wow, like, wow, you know,
Yeah,
they're always very proud of us, you know, and then that's always like a very supportive like family life and all that. So you know, we're just always driven to do more and do even better. You know, it just keeps
got
our
it. I want to we've got 10 minutes going and we've got a minute and a couple. What's your message to youth right now before I let you guys go? What is your strong message to youth right now?
Well, we want the youth, we want you guys to come and help the community. This is the most important time that all of us can go out and help our community. Whether that be helping our local seniors, we're mandated to self isolate. It could be anything, maybe even helping your grandparents. Come out to the community and help. Obviously, take your personal precautions against the COVID-19 pandemic, but this is literally the perfect time. You have your school online, and a lot of youth who are in high school, they're not it's not mandatory for them to attend classes. Of course, it's encouraged, but I read about the system and I heard that your mark will stay the same and that any work you don't do will not negatively affect your mark.
Right,
So with all this free time on our hands, we're sleeping up late, we're staying up late and then sleeping
yeah,
late. We can go out in the community, do something productive.
you got it.
We hope.
I gotta let Amzy in real fast because I'm gonna have to let you guys go soon. So Amzy, really fast in 20 seconds, go, real fast.
Alright. So basically, my message for the youth is that, you know, there's a stigma. People think that youth can't do as much as they can. But what I want to tell the youth is that what me and Irby didn't realize in the beginning is that we don't realize how much you're capable of. Youth
Right,
is capable of so much, and we kind of undercredit ourselves sometimes. You know, so my message for the youth is that get out there, and then you'll start seeing for yourself what you can do.
you
Youth are
got it.
very, very capable. You
You
know.
got it. And on that note, I gotta let you guys go. You'll be back. Thank you so much, Irby and Amzy. Promote them, guys. Protective Hood. Love you guys.
Stay
Bye. Bye, sweeties.
Bye bye.